Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. The tipping point in your business. The tipping point. This is very important, very important. See, the tipping point is simply that point where your business goes to the next level. See, understand one simple thing. Every business is not going to start off like just making money. You're not going to be balling out of control. Indeed, you might take a few years before you even see a profit. That's how deep it is. Shoot, if anytime major companies like Amazon went several years without seeing a profit, shoot, you're just a small business. But you can still reach a tipping point where you can just live off of that money and it's really taking off. I'll use my own business for an example, my publishing business. Now, I started it in 1995. And I had a little pamphlet. It's called The Perfect Man. And then I expanded The Perfect Man to with some other short stories, to a little novella called MACK. I should have put that out again. I might. And then another one called Sellout. And those are very interesting. And then I eventually put together a pamphlet called Finding a Good Man. That was for the ladies. But then that led to men asking for something, and then I wrote something that was called Nice Guy's Guide to Meeting Attractive Women. I even used a pseudonym for that because, I was just like, oh man, people might go crazy. But eventually that sold. It was just still small now, selling them at vending shows and everything. But that led to my book. That was my tipping point, Nice Guys and Players, Becoming the Man That Women Want. Now, I published that in September of 2000. In February of 2001, that was my tipping point. That's when the sales went crazy. I was making money hand over fist, traveling, doing all of this stuff, making connections, everything. That was the tipping point. But here's the thing with it. It wasn't just some magic I just jumped out there. To get to the tipping point, you got to build that foundation. You got to build a foundation. You got to work and be prepared for it. See, one of the things is a lot of times as you building your business, especially small, a lot of people aren't prepared for it. They haven't built it. Now, let me use an example. Let me use YouTube as an example. There's plenty of people who have had a viral video, but they weren't in position to follow up to really make money, to really get a following. Like it could have been very viral, they had some clip or something, but they weren't prepared to take it to another level. They didn't have the setup. And it's hard just to go from not having the setup to having the setup. A lot of times when you do hit that tipping point, you got to be ready to go. So you get some people, they're not ready. And YouTube is actually, that's almost an exception because, like I said, any social media, you can have a video that go viral. But can you take advantage of it? And that could be the tipping point right there, because there have been other content creators, they would go viral and they ready for it. They had everything already set up. They can handle it. They can handle like the extra time and everything they have to put into it. And that's just the nature of social media. But what if you have just a regular brick and mortar business? Say you have a product that all of a sudden becomes real popular. Like it could be just all of a sudden, but you're not ready to create more products. And I've read stories about that. Somebody will have a product that will become more popular, but then they're not ready to really take advantage. They don't have the money to pay for more of the materials for the product, or they don't have the personnel if it's a service to expand that service. But all of a sudden they just real popular, and that could be a problem. Or they didn't have the foundation. Let's put it like that. Usually they didn't build the foundation. Now that's something to do. Now, even though this is what I would strongly suggest, even in situations where, it's still small, as best as possible, think about, okay, what happens if I can take this to the next level? What happens if I can take this to the next level? Am I ready for that? And as best as possible, still do the research. Yeah, it's small now, but start doing the research. Say, okay, if I need to get more products in a hurry, do I have a line of credit where I can present to a bank and say, hey, this is happening. I need to get money right now. Do you have that credit set up? or that credit, are you in position? You know, or do I have a way I can get more people to help provide services for me? You know, you need to think about that. You know, do I have maybe, like, just look at, even if you don't need it, is there a place like, you know, you might be shipping services out of your home, like, well, products out of your home rather. And yeah, you got the space and everything because it's still small, but what happens if you hit that tipping point and all of a sudden you got to get more product, you need more space? Have you looked into having a brain fart? Have you looked into maybe a bigger warehouse space or something? And that's all you have to do, because yeah, you can't afford it right then. And I would suggest don't get it until you really need it, but then be prepared. And see, that's the thing about a tipping point. You got to prepare yourself for the tipping point. You know, you got to build the foundation to even get there. And then when you hit that tipping point, you can just go. It's like snap. Okay, boom. Like, you create your own luck. People think something is luck, but you got to create it. You got to create the situation where you can go just like that. You got the time, everything. You got everything set up, you know? And you got to think of, yeah, you got to work towards it. Now, one of the things is you never know when it's going to come or what products is going to come or the situation. All you can do is just steadily build your business. Make sure, and then build your business, build your products, everything. But then in the back of your mind, or like your free time, always think, okay, I hit that tipping point. Am I ready for it? Like, okay, say you shipping shea butter. Nah, I usually use soap. Okay, you shipping soap out. You know, you got online and everything. Are you ready for a sudden influx? You know, can you know where you can get the products to make that soap? Have you figured out, okay, I got to ship out more. Am I ready for that? You know, am I in a position where I can like hit somebody up real quick and say, hey, I need help with this. I can pay you, boom. Always think about those things as you still building, because the thing about tipping point, it might just be like that. Like using the social media example. Somebody might have that, there's been plenty of people that had viral videos but can never follow it up. They weren't ready. Like, if I would suggest anybody getting on social media, be prepared. Always have an idea what you want to do or what subject you're going to stay on, because you just never know. You never really know. All right? So I want y'all to think about that, and you know the deal. Let's go make that money.